Hey, welcome back to the Gospel Music Training Center. This is JP Jonathan Paul. Thanks for tuning into another video tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a Christmas song entitled "O Little Town of Bethlehem." This is a beginner's basement lesson, so this isn't for those of you who are advanced. If you're looking for advanced chords and voicings, we're going to do another video later on. You should check your account at upcoming lesson with a reharmonization of the same song. Okay, so we're gonna be in the key of A flat major. We're gonna be checking out just the basics and fundamentals of this song, "O Little Town of Bethlehem." All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is check out the number system and scale. So we're gonna be in the key of A flat, and the A flat major scale is A flat is the 1, B flat is the 2, C is the 3, D flat is the 4, E flat is the 5, F is the 6, G is the 7, and then we're back at the 1, A flat. So that's the number system and the scale. So what we're gonna do is start off with the first part of the song, and it starts off on the 1, which is A flat. So the chord that we're gonna be playing is an A flat major chord. And you can start off with the melody of C, okay? So that's the first thing that you're gonna play. You're gonna play C, and then you're gonna play the first chord, which is an A flat major chord. So we have A flat in the left hand, and then E flat, A flat, and C in the right. So play the C first, and then play this chord. Here we go. Okay, like that. So now we're gonna play this chord a couple more times. So you start off with the melody, which is C. Then you play the chord again. And then you take it down a half step to a G major chord. So one more time, start with the melody, play the A flat major chord, play it again, then take it down a half step. So now we have a G major chord, and I have D, G, and B in the right hand. From here, you're gonna take the chord right back up. So now we have E flat, A flat, and C. Okay, so far we have okay, so that's all on the 1. One more time. Now we're gonna go to the 4, which is D flat. And what's gonna happen is we have a couple notes that we're gonna play in the left hand. We're gonna play D flat and A. And then in the right hand, we're gonna play G flat and E flat. So it sounds like this, okay? So after that, we're gonna stay on the 4 and play another chord. So the left hand is gonna keep the D flat in the pinky, but you're gonna move this A up to B flat. So it's like when you go to the D flat, which is the 4, you're gonna go like that. So you hold the D flat, and then change the A to B flat. And then as far as the right hand goes, you got G flat and E flat, and then you change that to F and D flat. So the left hand is, and the right hand is, okay? And with both of them together, it's like this. And then you're gonna come down here and play D flat and F. So the whole pattern for the right hand is this. Okay? So let's go from the top, from the 1. Here we go. Here's what we just did. So after that change, we're gonna go to the 5, which is E flat, and we're gonna play, right before we get there, we're gonna play this B flat minor chord, which is D flat, F, and B flat, right? So you can play that chord, or you can just play the top note, which is B flat. But we're gonna go to the 5 from here, which is E flat. So either you can play a single note with the B flat, and then play the chord, or you can turn that B flat into a B flat minor chord. okay? And then from here, we're gonna bring this A flat major chord down. So one more time, you can play D flat, F, and B flat. That's a B flat minor chord. And that takes us to an A flat major chord. So now we're on the 5 and we have E flat in the left hand and then C, E flat, and A flat in the right. Then you take this chord down a half step to B, D, and G, which is a G major chord, then back up to A flat major, C, E flat, and A flat. So what we got is, and then we're gonna go to this E flat 7 chord. So we're still on the 5, notice that. So B flat minor, and then we're gonna hit the 5 with the A flat major chord right here. Take it down a half step, bring it back up, and now we're gonna change the chord to E flat 7. We're still on the 5 though. So now we're on this E flat 7 chord, and we got E flat still in the left hand, and then D flat, G, and B flat in the right. So you play the chord, and then add the E flat. So like that. And then that takes us back to the 1. So what we have right there is then back to the 1, okay? So we got an A flat major chord on the 1, which is A flat in the left hand, and then E flat, A flat, and C in the right. So let's go from the top and see what we have so far. So we started off on the 1. I'm gonna go slow, and if you want to, you can play with me too as well. So we got the 1. Then we went to the 4. And then all right, so that's what we got so far. Now the next part, we're gonna start off on the 1 again. And you play C as the melody first, and then play the A flat major chord again, the same one that I showed you. So I got A flat in the left hand, and then E flat, A flat, and C. So hit the C melody first, and then hit the A flat major chord, then go to the flat 7, which is G flat. So we play the same chord that we played over the A flat, which is this one, E flat, A flat, and C. This time you're gonna change the bass note to G flat and keep this chord the same. Okay? So it's like this. And then we're gonna go to the F, which is the 6. So we got F in the left hand, and then A, C, and F in the right. So you play the F major chord, and then you add the E flat in. So what we have is from the 1 to the flat 7 to the 6. Okay? And now we're gonna go to the 2. So now we're on a B flat bass, which is the 2. And what we're gonna play is, so the right hand we have F, B flat, and E flat. And that's over the B flat in the left hand. So play that chord and then incorporate the melody D flat. And then play this B flat minor chord in root position. B flat, D flat, and F. So we got, okay? Let's go back to the top of that section. So from the C to that 1 chord, to the flat 7 chord, to the 6, to the 2. Okay? Now we're gonna go to the 5. So right before we go to the 5, we play that same B flat minor chord that we played before, which is D flat, F, and B flat. That takes us to an A flat major chord, right there. So when we hit that A flat major chord, we're on the 5 in the bass, which is E flat. So we take that chord down a half step to a G major chord. And I showed you this already, but I'll show it to you one more time. So B flat minor chord, and then we play an A flat major chord over E flat. So E flat in the left hand, and then C, E flat, and A flat in the right. So what we're gonna do is take that chord down a half step to a G major chord. So we got B, D, and G. That's a G major. Then take it back up to A flat. So, and then now we're on the E flat, and we have an E flat 13 chord. And this is one of the only kind of jazzier sounding chords or extended chords that you're gonna find in this basic version, because that's actually what they do on the simple version of the song. Okay, so we got E flat in the left hand, which is the 5, and then D flat, G, and C. So let me show you how this chord fits in. So we're on the 5. There it is right there. And then you can switch the chord to a B flat minor chord, which is D flat, F, and B flat. Or you can just play the melody, which is the top note, B flat. Okay? So what I mean by that is, instead of playing the chord, you can play the B flat by itself. Or you can harmonize that B flat and play a full chord. Okay? But then that takes us back to the 1. So we got A flat, E flat, and A flat in the left hand, or you could play just A flat in the left hand, okay? And then C, E flat, and A flat. Okay, so that's the first part of the song. What I'm gonna do is take it from the top one more time, and you can play with me too as well. So I'm gonna count it in. Here we go. 1, we're gonna do this slow. 1, 2, 3, and... Okay, that's the first part. Here's the other part. Now, actually, I'm doing something different. Sometimes, whatever the melody is, you can harmonize that. And basically, whenever you play the C first, you can actually play the full A flat major chord. So if you wanted to, you can go play that same chord 3 times. But what I was doing was just playing C. Whoops. So it's up to you. So sometimes you might catch me doing something different, but I'm just taking that note and harmonizing it. But I'm gonna get back to what I showed you. Okay, so let's do this from the top one more time. I'm gonna count you in. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. That's the first part. Here's the next part. Okay? Now, one thing I want to do is show you different ways that you can make this sound a little bit fuller. Now, if we look at the left hand, you should have the pattern of this song for the most part. So one thing I want to tell you is that anytime you play just regular major chords, there's something that you can do with the left hand to make it sound fuller. So say, for example, on the 1, right? When we play the A flat major chord, anytime you play some type of major chord on a particular bass note, the left hand, you can actually make it sound fuller by playing not just the single note, but you can double up on that same note and play an octave. So now it sounds a lot fuller, right? Now you can also take the 5th tone of that particular note that you're on. So in this case, we're on the A flat, right? And if you think about the A flat major scale, what's the 5th of A flat major? Let's see. So we got A flat is the 1. B flat is the 2, C is the 3, D flat is the 4, E flat is the 5. That's the note that we're looking for. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you can play the 1, the 5, and then double up on the 1. So not only can you double up on the same note, but then you can also add the 5th tone of that scale, and now it sounds a lot fuller. So anytime you play major chords, this is a technique that you can always do to make the chord sound a lot fuller. So if we check that out, see the difference? Now let's look at how it sounds with just the A flat by itself in the bass. Okay, it's a lot thinner, but you can double up on the A flat, and then you can add the 5th. Now this is called a power chord, and a power chord is basically the 1, the 5, and the 1 of whatever tone you're on. So for A flat, this is an A flat power chord, right? Now, a simple power chord, what's a C major power chord or a C power chord? C is one of the easiest keys that you should know because it's all white keys. What's the 1, 5, and 1 for C? It's C, G, and C. So if we wanted to play a C major chord, I'm going out of context, I'm going out of key, because I just want you to be able to see this concept. So if we were to play a C power chord, it would be C, G, and C. And if you could play that with a C major chord, okay? So anytime you play certain chords and you know what the bass note is, you can actually make it sound fuller by making it a power chord in the left hand, okay? So let's see. Now, this is another tone that you can actually play a power chord on too as well. So when you're on the 5, instead of just playing E flat, you can either play 2 E flats, or you can play the 1, the 5, and the 1 for E flat. And this is based off the scale of the bass note you're on. So if I say 1, 5, 1, I'm basing it off of the E flat or the E flat scale. So the 1 of the E flat scale is E flat, and then the 5 is B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the E flat major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So the 5 is B flat. So when you're on the 5 right here, you see that? It just gives you more fullness. So I wanted to show you the basic way to play it, and then just little ways that you can actually give it a little bit more color. And then the second part of the song, we're going to pick it up and take 2. So let's see how else we can give this a little bit more fullness and flavor. So let's see. And back to the power chord. Now, another thing that you could do, sometimes when you play just major chords and 3-finger triads, is whatever the top note is, a lot of times the top note is carrying the melody of the actual song, right? So you want to keep that, but you can also make the top note your bottom note too. So instead of just playing C up top with this with this A flat major chord, I'm saying E. So instead of just having C at the top, you can actually put it at the bottom too. So, and now the chord is getting even more fuller. So sometimes when you see people play and the chord sounds so big and full, they're just actually enhancing the chord and making it sound fuller with these small little techniques. And it's just as simple as taking the top note, which is the C, and putting that C right here too. So now we have 2 Cs. The outside notes of the chord are the same, okay? And that's something that you could do with any basic chord. So let's try that with a lot of these chords. So even when you take this chord right here, this A flat major chord, and bring it down, then back up, you can actually do that with a 4-finger chord, which is adding that octave or adding that top note down to the bottom for all of these chords. So let me do it right. Here's the first one. Now it sounds fuller. And now this G major chord, where we did that, the top note is B. So you can put that B down here. And then you can bring the chord back up a half step. And notice that the outside notes are the same. C and C, B and B. Okay, so now, just with simple chords, we're starting to get fuller and fuller. So here we go. Okay. Now this is another chord that you can do it on. It's an A flat major chord. When we went from the B flat minor to A flat major, on the B flat minor, you can do the same thing if you want to. Okay? So you actually have to pick and choose when you want to play or use this concept, because sometimes too much fullness might not sound good to you, but I just want to give you some ideas on how you can take simple chords and make them sound fuller, okay? So that's just the first part of the song. I made it full right there, A flat major. Now this is another chord that you can do on the second part. You hear that? At first, the first time we did it, we just did this. Right? And that's that. That's where we are. But you can make that sound a lot fuller. So instead of doing this, you can do this. Or even the left hand, you can make it full with that technique that I showed you, which is the 1, 5, and 1. And then you can make the right hand fuller too. See how bigger it is? So when we play that G flat, which is the flat 7, you can add the same power chord concept to that. Instead of just playing G flat, you can play G flat, D flat, and G flat. And listen to how big that sounds. This versus this. See the difference? Sounds a whole lot better. And then now we're going to go to the F, which is the 6, right? You can use a power chord on the F. So what's the power chord for F? It's the 1, 5, and 1 for the key of F major, or for the F scale, right? So if we were to play it the simple way, it'll sound like this. But let's add a power chord to the F too as well. Hear that? Sounds way bigger. Now, even with this F major chord in the right hand, remember what I said, you can actually take the top note and put it down at the bottom. And now it's going to even sound even more fuller. So let's see. Whoops. Here it is. And then now we're going to go to the 2. So you can pretty much add a power chord to almost every tone. All right, so that's it for take 1. And we're gonna pick up the second half of this song in take 2. I wanted to show you some different concepts that you can use just for this first part of the song. Hopefully you can take these concepts and not only apply them to this, have an open mind. These tips and tricks can be used for any chord, any style, as long as you understand the basics, the basic chords, all right? So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any questions, always feel free to hit me up. Jonathan Powell is my username in the Gospel Music Training Center. Also, feel free to interact with us live. Every other week we do live training. If you have any questions regarding your ministry, regarding any lessons in the Gospel Music Training Center, that's your time to talk to us. You can either call us on the phone or you can post your questions over the web. All right, so once again, God bless. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, remember, if you can hear it, you can play it.